So, Simone, first of all, thanks for having me. And well, you are coming to Brazil again with the Astral Tour with Epica. And I noticed that you are performing many songs from the new album, not like one or two, right? So,
hmm
has been the reception so far? And which songs have surprised you the most in terms of audience response?
Well, the first time we played new songs was already last year in September before the album was released. We played Arcana, a Spiral, and with orchestra and choir. And I think Arcana so far has been a fan favorite. A lot of people love it. It has a cool headbanging passage and beautiful chorus. And last weekend, we did our last festivals and we started playing the song Apparition, which is also a lot of fun to play that song live. And maybe in Brazil, we can add even another one. Who's he? Who knows?
Yes, and speaking of the new album, the band has kept the same lineup, I think, since Requiem for the Different, right? So, how has this stability influenced your songwriting and music in general?
I think it's a great strength and yeah, how do you say? We feel very blessed that we have five guys that can write songs. So, and they all have their individual style. For example, I think Mark, of course, Mark and Koen and me are the ones that were there from the beginning. But Mark has, written a couple songs for this album that feel a little bit like the older Epica days. Rob wrote a couple songs that Rob writes very doomy, dark, like romantic, catchy songs. Isaac has cool guitar riffs, and Arjen is like, black death metal drummer who has insane fast blast beats in his songs. And everything together makes Epica a very multifaceted symphonic metal band. So that is really cool that you can use the brains, the musical brains of six people to, create Epica, and that it's not depending on one person writing all the songs. So it keeps things interesting for us, but also for the fans.
Yes, well, one song that I found really, I think probably it's my favorite from the record, is the song Fight to Survive. And the lyrics
hmm
tells the story of someone who's lost in space, something like that. And it reminded me some aliens themes. How did the songwriting process for this track came about?
Well, the music, the bass of the song, it was written by Isaac, and he had a very clear vision of, how the song should sound like, vocal lines. And Mark decided to write the lyrics for the song. And the Fight to Survive theme is about, indeed, it's called the overview effect, where astronauts go into space and to discover, let's say the moon. But when they are in space, they look down on Earth and see how fragile and how small it is, and that it happens to many astronauts that come back from space that feel a stronger connection to the Earth. And with everything that's going on, with also the climate change, um, yeah, it can feel very empowering to be reconnected with our planet Earth and to take care of it, to respect it, and to make sure that future generations can still survive here on Earth. But in the broader sense, to fight to survive can also be an anthem for people struggling in their lives, to kind of gain the courage and strength to keep going and look forward, and and yeah, kind of enjoy life and respect everybody, the earth, all the animals and plants, so we can kind of, sounds very cheesy, but that we can live in harmony, which isn't always the case, unfortunately. But luckily, with music, we can unite people and give people comfort.
Yes, well, another highlight is the ballad of Obsidian Heart. Uh, what it's like for you for Epica in general to write ballads, and which other Epica ballads are your personal favorites to sing?
Oh yeah, Obsidian Heart is like a heavy ballad, I would say. I enjoy always writing and recording and singing ballads live because there I can really focus on my vocals and you're not jumping around on the stage, you're very concentrated and it's always very intimate and very personal, I would say, and raw to sing ballads compared to the power songs where you're belting and jumping and doing crazy stunts on stage. Another of my all-time favorite epic ballads would probably be Tides of Time. That's the song we also performed with the Symphonic Synergy in Amsterdam with choir and orchestra, but also in Mexico. It's a timeless ballad, I think. Tides of Time hits all the sweet spots, that make a ballad great, I guess. And Obsidian Heart is a little bit darker and has a heavier feel to it, literally because of the music, but also the fact that the song is tuned very low. It feels very doomy, and I like it. It's one of my favorites of the album.
Yes, well, and this year we marked the 20th anniversary of Consigned to Oblivion, right? The second album from Epica. So, uh, looking back to these days, what lessons did you take from the Phantom Agony that you applied to Consigned to Oblivion?
I think when we recorded the Phantom Agony, we had very little live experience. And of course, after the first album was released, we started touring and gained a lot of live experience. For me, also the singing changed a lot. So I could kind of open up more on Consigned to Oblivion. I wasn't as shy, I wasn't as insecure, and felt more confident with my voice and opening up more, I guess. And yeah, maturing. I was very young with Phantom Agony, with Consigned to Oblivion, a couple of years older, and feeling more, experienced, I guess, a little bit more experienced.
And do you have any personal favorite from this record?
I'm Consigned to Oblivion. If I'm not mistaken, could it be Mother of Light? I think that's on Consigned to Oblivion. We have now 9 albums, so it could be that I'm mistaken, but that is one of my favorite ones. Facade of Reality is from the first album. Solitary Ground, the ballad on Consigned to Oblivion, I like a lot.
Yes, and well, the first record was released in 2003, and it was a strong era for symphonic metal worldwide. Back then, were you already a fan of this genre?
Yes, yeah, I was. Before I knew what metal music was, I was more into rock, uh, alternative rock bands like Radiohead, Silverchair, Deftones, REM, and then I got into black metal, actually. I was a fan of Cradle, Dimmu Borgir, um, Mystic Circle, Old Man's Child, to name a few. And then I heard bands like Lacuna Coil, Nightwish, Within Temptation, After Forever, hearing this metal combined with a beautiful female voice was something completely new to me. And combined also with classical music, classical singing, I thought it was magical.
Any particular records of these symphonic metal bands that caught your attention back then?
Sorry, yeah, what's the question? Which record?
If you have any particular record from these symphonic metal bands that you mentioned that caught your attention back then.
Yeah, from Lacuna Coil, it's, I guess, In a Reverie, from Within Temptation, The Dance, Nightwish, Angels Fall First, and Oceanborn, those albums. And Tristania, I think it's Beyond the Veil. Those were the albums. I recently found my mother gave me a cassette of like a little mixtape that I made from my favorite bands back in the day. And there's Lacuna Coil on it, and Nightwish, Dimmu Borgir. It's really cute, actually. I should maybe I don't have a cassette player or a Walkman
Yeah,
anymore. I should buy one so I can listen to it to kind of, for nostalgic reason.
yeah. Make a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, or I can do that. That's the modern version, yeah.
Okay. And Simone, can you name five albums that have had a significant impact on your life and share a little bit about each one?
Five albums. Uh, I guess REM Up. I always loved the vocals of Michael Stipe, and he just, hits like a sensitive string. Like he pulls my heartstrings with his lyrics and his vocals. Very unique voice. Uh, Absolution from Muse. Also love Matthew Bellamy. I guess Anathema Judgment. I love Parisian Moonlight. I love One Last Goodbye. I love the brothers, they're very sweet. Met them. And before we actually, our very first Epica show was as a support for Anathema, but I loved the music before that. So that has a special place in my heart. Um, Rammstein, Mutter. I always kind of dreamt of doing the female guest vocals for a Rammstein song. So who knows if that maybe happens one day. And I guess Nightwish, Oceanborn. One of my favorite songs is Walking in the Air because it dates back to when I was a little kid. I watched the movie, the animated movie, The Snowman, and I heard the song already many times as a little kid. Sung, it's sung by a young boy. And then to hear the metal version of it, I think Nightwish did a brilliant job, and it's a beautiful song. So those would be the albums that come to the top of my mind now.
Okay. And Tom, you are very active on the Patreon, right? What tips would you give to other singers or musicians who are considering joining the platform?
I guess my tip would be to do whatever you feel like, and it's a really great way to communicate with your fans and also explore other hobbies and give them a little bit more behind the scenes of your life as an artist or whatever you do. And it's kind of a safe space. People that are there are really there to support you. And it's a little bit better, you have a better overview of the people that are there, and it's more personal, I guess. And maybe don't start with like a huge plan, start small and build it from there and see if how much time you can actually dedicate to it in order to keep it going, besides all the other things that are happening in your life. But I like it a lot, and especially whenever we have, for example, also meet and greets with Epica, then people come up to me like, "I'm also on your Patreon," and I recognize them, and it kind of creates a stronger relationship and a bond with the fans, and it's fun to do Patreon and social media. For example, Facebook, Instagram has become a little bit less a priority for me because of also the time that I have to spend on creating that kind of content, and it's a lot of fun for me, and the audience is very appreciative, and it's very nice community.
Okay, Simone. Well, thanks for the interview. Please leave a final message to your Brazilian fans.
Yes, tudo bem. Brazil Epica is coming in September. We have a couple of shows, and we're very excited to play in many different cities, play new songs from a spiral along with the old ones. And we love our Brazilian fans and can't wait to return and drink caipirinhas.
Okay, see you on the road. Bye bye.
Bye bye.